This is a screen recording documenting the process of my FMP and how I'm working towards it. I'm also currently in the studio with Giles, who's working on his FMP, and we've today collaborated for the fourth time.
Yes, we have.
For the fourth time for our FMP, sorry, to work towards that and try and find something we can do. So, I started with this first down early this morning. I was up going through Alchemy, and it was called Life in Slow Motion, and it was just a first preset, and that's what I got. I sent it over to Giles. He did his thing with the 808s. I'll let him chat about what he did quickly.
With the 808, I started by taking out the lower frequencies up to about 30 hertz to make sure it's just a lot less subby and you could hear it a lot more. Also cut. It does. And I also cut the high ends just to make it more bassy. Well, I didn't want any of them high frequencies getting through at all. Then next, I added a compressor to the bass. I also sidechained this to the kick, so it allowed the kick to really cut through and not really get muffled by the lower frequencies, as I said again. And lastly to that, I added overdrive just to give it more bassy feel, more distorted sound. Yeah. Then next after that,
I did the kicks, didn't I? Yeah, we added. I added the kicks, and the snares were pretty simple. They're already in from the first melody. I'll quickly just solo that, so we just have without the hats for the minute. So we've just got the snares and the snare fillers and the 808 and the first sound just playing now for you. So this was a simple kick pattern. I sort of got a bit of an influence off a track I'd heard that we were going to sample for the kicks and sort of the way the snares were hitting. But it's not really an influence. I mean, most common tracks that the BPM is under sort of 100 is sort of the snares are really on 1-2 rather than 1-3. And in the sample, the kicks, they sort of had the same sort of rhythm and the bounce, but also they had fast ones at the end, which I quite liked. So that's why I took them to our own track, as you can hear at the end. Something I've learnt off Giles as well is to turn your velocity so it builds up in a sort of sweeping motion on the fast kicks. That sort of sounds quite nice. So once Giles added the 808, I went and added a Vox sort of sound, which is going to come in now. Really, really subtle. I'll just quickly do it without anything else. So it's just a subtle one. And Giles put an echo on that. Oh, sorry, a stereo delay. And that just gave it that echo sort of feel, the repeat. And it's really quite nice. It really works well. Has quite a sort of ambient feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And then, so once I added that, I then passed it straight back over to Giles, who I think you added your own vocals chant, didn't you? Or did you add the hats then?
I added the other Vox.
Yeah, there it is.
Just
chat about that.
Yeah, just with this Vox, I just added a bit silver to smoothen it out, and I again cut the low frequencies so there was no like muffledness or anything coming through, just to make it as high frequency as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah, pretty much like that. And then after that, I then started work on the hats. With the hats, I decided to use an arpeggiator. It just makes the whole process a lot easier, especially trying to get 48s or the 16 triplets. It's just a lot more easier to control, and it gave me a lot more freedom when it came to it. Again, I cut the lower frequencies, and then I added a silver verb just to smoothen it out. I also had 2 different types of hats as well, all with the same effects on them. So, but just to add some variety and some difference. Next after that, I added the open hat, which just gave it some groove, some space. Yeah. So that. The hi-hats.
Silver's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very. There's lots of variation and stuff. And yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's when I played in the other hats and not the 60. Yeah.
So you smashed it.
Oh, this part here, I'll just quickly solo it. This is quite funny how this sort of got added to the track. We was having a little break while we listened to the track over, and Giles pressed, I think it was up or roll, wasn't it, on the keyboard, on the MIDI Novation keyboards, and it gave it to this effect. So when you played the note in, instead of being one single note that was just played throughout, and obviously changed when you played different notes, it was sort of arc notes, so it repeated itself. And I was messing around with that, and then I think I played this in. So it's just quite simple, it's just adding the background. It's quite low in the mix, but that's just to keep it in the background sort of sounding nice. And that's the last thing we added, and then we've got this sound that when I played the first instrument in, when I played this in, I also played it alongside with this, but at the same time I didn't think it worked. And then Giles said add it in later on, which I did, and once we looked at the structure, it sort of worked. Just adds a little difference in variety up. Same exact instrument as the first one that's being played, just different. So that's the track. We've got elements from Giles on the 808, the vocal hat, the vocal chants, the hats and the open hat. Myself on the kicks and the snares and the melody. Yeah, that's